Hello, this is a Jayleshark and Friends
And Russell.
and Russell podcast. And on today's show, we're talking to the legend that is the manager of Chern Talay Sports Bar Peppers, Steve. Oh, we've got a new intro. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the podcast.
This is a double whammy of Steve's, I realise.
It's Steve-ology and Steve. Well, we'll come up with another.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Hi, Steve.
Morning.
Hi,
Thanks
Steve.
for being on time.
Thank you.
The pair of you sound really hungover and...
No, he's hungover.
I'm not, yeah.
You are.
No, I am.
You are.
I am.
You is.
I am a little bit hungover. Yes,
Well, welcome
but
to
it was
the podcast,
worth it.
Steve.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Well, I am now. I've arrived now. Took me an hour to get past the vegetarian festival.
Bloody traffic. Disgraceful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it because you don't like vegetarian, Steve, or you just don't like the vegetarian
Does it
traffic?
show?
Didn't want to...
This isn't Vision Cast. Is it?
No.
Steve, who are you?
I'm the manager of Pepper's Bar.
Oh, other bars are available, but we are saying...
But why would you bother?
Do you know what? I've already gone on the tangent. I haven't been in Peppers for a long time, but I've never been here during the daytime. Ever.
It's different. To be fair, if you want a good breakfast,
Yeah.
and this is not about sort of bigging Steve
No,
up,
we can
'cause-
big Steve up.
No. We're not
But
bigging Steve up. He's
when
an
you
Arsenal fan. But they do make the best breakfast on the island in this place.
There you go.
It is pretty fantastic.
Because you decided to come and meet. We should be talking to Steve, really. We just talked to each other.
You're just hanging around here, it's all right.
We'll get back to Steve in a minute. What did you have for your breakfast this morning?
Just a fry up. Eggs, bacon, sausages, beans, coffee, and a juice.
Let's get back to Steve.
Steve!
Did you have it in Pepper's?
I did! Sat right at
That's
this very
Pepper's.
table. Yeah, that's Pepper's Bar. Near Laguna, Chern Talay. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's all right, Steve. We're only going to increase your frequentance of patrons. Do you like that? I used two big words in a
That was
row.
two very big words for you.
By approximately 15 people. If
So-
the 15 people that listen to our podcast do actually come to
Yeah.
Peppers.
So
in
how long have you
Chern Talay.
been in Phuket Land?
12 and a half years now, mate.
And of those 12 and a half, how long have you been the manager at this fine establishment?
6.5 years. But don't worry, I'll get good at it someday.
Yeah, well,
I sort of ease my way into a new job, you know.
yeah, quite.
Yeah,
So-
6.5 years, yeah.
But so I
Time's
remember,
gone quick.
well, it is. But I remember you as a customer of this particular establishment when we used to sort of sit here and watch the football. And
Yes, it's amazing
Swear
they
that-
give me the manager's job after I used to...
Was that because you just didn't leave?
No, that's just as I was.
Well, that too.
I was a little bit excitable when the football would be on.
And
that's
Well, very much so.
when
and
he said,
you still are?
when he says a little bit
No,
excitable.
I have had to tone it down a tad, but sometimes it gets the better of me. Yeah.
To be, just for some clarity, when Steve says he gets a little bit excited about football, it's like saying you're just a little bit upset,
Right.
You with me?
I am just a little bit upset.
not completely clinically depressed.
Clinically depressed is probably the right word, yeah.
Exactly, just a little bit upset.
So, but...
Well, who's your team, Jay?
see, this is...
Let's not go there.
Okay. I have stopped following football.
Chelsea.
Not because because if ever I said I was a Chelsea fan, I would get... And the story was I was in Black Cat one day, and it was... I think I mentioned to someone that I was a Chelsea fan, but then I said I lived near Southampton, because I did it, or my parents do.
As I lived in Southampton 20 years.
There you go. And then everyone in there who was a Portsmouth fan decided to attack me verbally and criticise me for living in it. And I was like, well, one, I'm not a Southampton fan, and I just kind of didn't. So I used to follow Chelsea quite a lot. I've watched the results.
Where
but-
were you born?
Oh, I'm in Essex. I'm a Southend boy.
Right,
so
okay, yeah.
Southend-on-Sea is my team that I do watch, who might be getting Henrik Larsson as
No
manager.
way.
Yeah, they're interviewing him at the moment.
Far out.
So I've ball boyed for Southend, and I used to go and watch Southend. I've been to Chelsea a couple of times, but I'm honestly, Steve, I find, and I know that we can sit here and talk about sport. I'm happy to. I just find the tribalistic. Is that the right word?
tribal nature.
The tribal nature of it all, just because I like one team and then you get attacked by people that don't, you know, do you know what I mean? I mean, I know it's a lot of it's banter.
Just banter,
yeah, a lot of it's banter, but I got to the point where I just got fed up.
We've got to be very careful these days with using the word banter, though, isn't it? Because people might find it offensive.
Why?
Well, jokes aside, you've got to be careful with how we say, you know, we can say things about your team or you, you stupid Gooner fan and all that, but...
Is Gooner now racist?
It probably is. It'll offend someone, but that's the world in which we live.
Let's go back to Steve's on football. So you said you lived in Southampton for 20 years?
Yeah.
Is that where you were from originally, or
no,
you just lived in
London?
A London boy. Whereabouts in London?
Highgate, North London.
Yeah.
It was always North London. Then, age 30, I moved to Southampton because cheap to buy an house down there.
A couple of years ago then, yeah?
Yeah.
that was just... Well, is that before or after the Great Depression?
So 33 years ago.
Really?
I moved to Southampton.
You went on the steamboat, did you?
Yeah.
And everything was black and white.
Honestly, I absolutely loved it living down there. I used to drive from Southampton to London daily, backwards and forwards, 80 miles there, 80 miles back. I've done that for 20 years. So I know the M3 and the A3 backwards, inside out, the M25. But I enjoyed living in Southampton. And it was, I've only been back twice since I've moved out here. And it's still the same. Things have changed, but it's still very green and very friendly. But a lot more students in Southampton moved in now. But I loved my time in Southampton. And of course, it was a lot cheaper to buy my second house there. A lot cheaper.
As opposed to London.
Oh, I wouldn't even bother. You'd be in a one-bedroom flat, a broom cupboard somewhere. I mean, my first house was 50,000. My second house was 53,500 for a 3-bedroom house with a garage and quite a big-sized garden. So, what we get for that these days?
Yeah, quite. Yeah, a shed if you're lucky.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to live in London if I'm honest with you.
Would you ever go back to the UK?
No.
Just give me my question.
No.
Well, I got there first.
Well done.
Never, ever.
No, I've got no interest. None at all.
Life's here now, and that's it.
Yeah, this is where I hope to see out the rest of my days. I love it here. I love it.
And we'll try and speed it up.
I've got no interest in going back home, especially the climate the way it is at the moment. Right, all it is doom and gloom. But you know, I mean, I've got family back home. I've got a son back home, but we won't touch on that one this morning. But apart from that, it doesn't hold much for me no. I'd like to go to a visit. I'd like to take my wife. My wife's Thai, by the way. She's never been to England. So on that occasion, if I had the money and had the time off, I'd like to take her back to England. But I doubt it. Mate.
When was the last time you were back there? Was that for your mum's?
When my mum passed away, so that was 7 years ago. Yeah. So
you've not been back since. Right,
well,
okay.
I spent 8 months in Scotland waiting for her to pass. So Dundee.
Yeah.
And it's bloody cold in Dundee. Let me tell you, even in the summer it's cold. Yeah. So. And then I think I had 2 weeks in Southampton because I knew this was my last hurrah, and 1 week in London with friends, and that's it. But honestly, I don't miss anything back about the UK. I'm one of them guys. If you go on holiday and someone says, "Oh, bring me back tea bags or jam or newspapers, magazines," I don't ask for nothing. I don't miss anything. If you was to bring in some jelly deals and put it on the table right now, fantastic. Pie and mash, yeah. I don't miss anything.
That's proper London, isn't it? Yeah, that is proper. That's
proper
old school.
But I'd, if you could put it on the table in front of me, I'd wolf it down like a shot. But I don't miss it. You know, I don't crave for anything from back home at all.
Would you ever think about doing jelly deals here? Is it because they must be able to do it?
I don't think so. It's not quite this. It's like the shells they do it, the little ones, right? Like
the winkles.
I
call them winkles. Yeah, the little snails.
They don't taste the same. They don't taste. I mean, they're quite nice out here, but they're not winkles. So
it's a bit like the cockles don't taste the same either.
And well, I don't know where whelks come from. Actually, do you know
very
where whelks
careful
come
about that.
What? Russell, where do whelks come from?
Celts.
Have you ever had a whelk?
No, I haven't actually.
It's like a big cockle. It's a meaty, juicy cockle. They're yummy, actually.
But sometimes, unless you put salt and vinegar on them, they can be just quite chewy. Some people it's a London thing, isn't it? Really, whelks.
Well, it's a
put it anywhere,
an estuary thing.
Yeah, you put it anywhere north, people they turn their nose up at it. It's the same as pie and mash. People,
yeah, no, it really is.
Oh, it's the liquor that's with the pie and mash.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. You know, this north-south divide, and certain people north, they look at it and they won't even attempt to eat it. I think, well, it's just pie, right? It's just pie and mash.
But is that not the same as here? So, for example, when I was with my ex, who is Thai, we would go and have the cockles at the seafood restaurant, and she would put them in the spicy dipping sauce. So I'm there asking for vinegar and black pepper or white pepper if they've got it, and I'll eat them like that. And that's just a cultural thing. But it must be the same with
what we know, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What we know.
For sure.
I mean, I'm willing to try something different. I try the shells. I like all fish food out here, but it's not the same as back home. I mean,
don't miss
that's
it.
brilliant. That's the only thing that you miss from back home is like.
well, they're the sort of things that stick in my mind.
Yeah.
That's about it. Or when you used to go to the pub on a Friday or Saturday night, the guy would come in or a girl would come in selling it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They come in selling, and I mean, last time I went, they were hugely expensive. I'll tell you, the last time I went back to the UK, I had a weekend in Butlins, the adult weekends.
For those who don't know, Butlins is like a holiday camp. It's
for adults.
For adults.
Yeah,
But they also have a lot of wrestling happens at Butlins and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they have 60s weekends, 70s weekends, soul weekends.
Discos every night. It's an entertainment place.
Everyone dresses up in fancy dress every night. There's no trouble. It's just
There's no trouble.
No, there's trouble.
Steve's not starting no trouble.
It's just a blast. Well, you can't because people get banned and they're never allowed back. Honestly, there's no.
Have you got mates that have been banned from Butlins?
No,
Have you been
no
banned
one
from
does
Butlins?
because everyone behaves themselves. I think you got to be 21.
Mate, I've seen you pissed.
You got to be 21 and over.
Is that true? You have to be 21 over to go to Butlins?
Really?
And if you have any trouble, say for example, I went on your membership, Jay, and I caused trouble, you'll get banned as well. That's why everyone picks and chooses who they.
Jesus,
who's
I
gonna
didn't
come.
know it was that tough.
I would never take him to Butlins.
No, I wouldn't take you to Butlins.
But they're great weekends. Anyway, my point is, when I went Shangri-La one day, went outside and they got a jelly deal stand, and I thought fantastic. And this guy had about 2 whelks. I mean, it must have been 3 whelks maximum, and it was like £2.50 if I can remember. Memory serves me correct. For like 3 whelks. I mean, come on. But yeah, the old days when they used to walk around, I think that might work in British pubs out here actually, if you could get the real deal.
Yeah.
Here it would, because it's an expat's pub. Right?
No, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
having said that, there's a lot of northerners in here, so maybe not.
And there's nothing against northern people before we get some complaints.
yes. Before we get into our Brexit debate.
So you've been here for 6 years. You've done Peppers for 6 years. What did you do before?
6.5 years, nothing. I was sat on my bum.
Man of leisure.
Yeah, just walking the dog up the beach every day and reading books. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
And this you kind of fell into, right? Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Because,
this job, I'm
what's
very
his name?
lucky to get into it. And I come in and I met the owner, Claire. Claire Cookson's the owner. And got to know her. And
It was
she used to
previous
laugh
work.
at me, Alan
Oh, that was
Dillon.
him, yeah.
So I got to know it, and Alan left. And a few people said to me, "You'd be good at that." Because I've got a big mouth, probably. I don't know. I mean, it's not. I said, "Well, what do I know about pub management? What do I still know about pub management?" But the fact was, a few people mentioned it, and I had a chat to Claire, and Claire liked me, and Cornet liked me, and it sort of worked out. Yeah.
It was quite funny at the
Not
time.
sure anyone still likes me, but,
It was funny at the time because we
but
used to
I'm
kind
here.
of-
They're not getting rid of me.
No, I particularly remember the 2010 World Cup, and we'd be sitting here or there, and just, I mean, yes, we'd have a beverage or two back in the days when we might have a bit too much to drink, and it was 2010, so that was the South Africa World Cup, so all the games were much later, and all of that. So we'd be in here till silly o'clock in the morning, just getting absolutely smashed. And Mr. Effin and Blinding over here, his name,
Steve.
well, yeah, so he has a nickname,
Steve, too.
which.
Guessing.
And in M's
Family
phone,
show.
it's yeah. So it's
Am I going to have to get the
It's
sound
the- it's
effect
the
ready?
mood.
Yeah, I'd think so. Yeah.
what the moo covered is his nickname in M's phone. So when he phones her, that's what comes up.
That's a bit harsh.
It's
Yeah.
but when we first met him, that was every third word was that.
I used to get a bit excitable, let's just say.
Yeah.
Now, this was England, but I don't. Funny enough, I don't.
I mean, in a
England
jovial
don't
way. I mean,
bother me
I
no
swear
more.
a lot. I'm trying not to, obviously, I'm not on the cast, but I swear like fucking buggery. But
So when you say you get overexcited about, are you just so passionate about it? Do you get upset as well? So, for example, if Arsenal lose,
Well, put it this way: I've been divorced 15 times. No, I mean, look, no one likes to lose, right? I mean, I don't,
but you're not losing.
but I don't mind. I don't mind Arsenal losing if they played well. It's when they play crap and they lose it gets on my nerves.
But what
But
do
it doesn't. Once the game's over and you get the but then you laugh about it and you post on social media and you know. But no, it doesn't get me to a fact where I want to go home and kick the dog and stuff like that. No,
Don't kick dogs.
no.
Right? From that.
Well,
the
not
cat,
with,
fine.
Yeah, cats
but,
you can kick.
not
cats,
with him
kids.
present anyway. But no, it was I used to, you know, and you get so frustrated. But I don't know a sport that gets me like that. I mean, like, working now, I never used to like rugby before I started working here. I love it now, rugby union. I even like the State of Origin. I love watching that. Other sports, you know, cricket doesn't really do it for me, but I can watch them now.
But also in a
nothing,
pub, in
nothing
this
gets me as
environment.
much as football. I don't know. I can't understand it.
But that's what you were brought up with.
But
So
did
for
you
me.
play football as a kid?
Not to any degree.
Have you
No,
seen him?
I played.
I have
No,
seen
no.
and I'm being polite.
I played like anyone else, you know, jump
Sunday
to the
kickabout.
goalposts and
Yeah.
20 aside up Regent's Park every Sunday. You know, we'd have an hour each side, then we'd bunk in the Regent's Park Zoo and go on the boats. We used to hire a boat out for one, and then about 20 of us would share it all afternoon. You know, come in number 6 and all that. Those were the old days of football. Yeah, I mean, I love football like any fella does, but no degree of.
And you've been an Arsenal fan since you was a nipper.
I'm guessing. Yeah. My dad, funny enough, wanted me to be a Chelsea fan, and my first football match was Chelsea and West Brom.
Oh, was it?
So you're down with a Chelsea fan?
He was.
So what made you choose Arsenal?
Well, I didn't want Chelsea. The first football match he took me to, and he wasn't around for long, my dad, let me tell you. So he took me to Chelsea West Brom. I don't know why it stuck in my memory, but it was at Stamford Bridge, and it was awful. It was a 0-0 draw, and I said to him, I don't like Chelsea. Well, why not? I said, I just don't like Chelsea. I think we've had this conversation before. I can't remember any particular reason why I liked Arsenal other than we just liked Arsenal. You know, maybe it was the shirts, maybe it was a player at the time. I just can't remember.
Well, I think
it's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, but
and it was my local team as well.
Well, that's I can get that now. For you, Russell, you're a Liverpool fan.
I am.
So how does that work? Well, you were born in Bournemouth, and then you grew up in Hong Kong.
We call it plastic fan.
Yeah. So, well, this actually ties into that because the term plastic fan does get thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
Explain plastic fan.
So
because plastic's bad, by the way.
Yeah,
it kills
quite,
turtles.
Yeah,
We all
exactly.
hate
So a
turtles.
plastic fan.
A plastic fan is someone that doesn't go to the matches.
Someone that doesn't go to
Sits on their
matches,
armchair.
like Glory Hunter. I'm supporting Man United because they're winning everything.
But why is it
And
called a
that-
plastic fan?
Because it's fake. It's not real. That's the conceptual idea behind it. So you're not
Right.
a real fan, you're a plastic fan.
I think
Okay.
people that will travel week in, week out, home and away, they'll get the ump because it's basically, well, I'm a much better fan than you because I travel home and away. It doesn't make any difference.
No, it
At the
doesn't
end
make
of
any
the
difference at all.
If you don't never go to a football match, if you're a fan, you're a fan.
But surely you're enjoying. I mean, okay, so I'll get back to your Liverpool thing in a minute. See
Oh,
how I'm
please
trying to
don't.
remember to go back to stuff. I'm really.
I'll pick it out for you. It's all right.
I got. My problem with podcasting or with any conversation is my mind just goes off, and I'm doing my damnedest to concentrate so hard it's
On the
hurting my
one
head
topic.
on one topic.
Well,
But
to be fair, when
now
you're
I've forgotten
hungover,
where I
you're
was
doing it
going.
better.
Now I've forgotten where I was going with you. Damn it! Oh, it's like so. As a wrestling fan, I'm a wrestling fan. It's
So we're off on
it's my
tangents
thing.
again.
No, but my point being is
USA wrestling or English wrestling?
both, absolutely both. Anything to do with wrestling. That's my entertainment. Now, I've never been to see a wrestling show, but that doesn't make me less of a fan. It just means I actually see. So
no.
why were you a Liverpool fan?
I'll come back to that in 1 second. But
Okay.
I get what you mean about not going to watch a game but still being a fan. That's fine. It's more, for me, my take on being a plastic fan is you're going to chop and change. So 1 minute I'm supporting Chelsea because they're doing super really well. Oh, now they're doing shit. Oh, I'm going to go and support Man City because they're doing really well now. Oh, now they're doing shit. I'll go and support whoever else it
But
is.
that's just a child glory support. I mean, that's just
Yeah,
marketing.
that's
where
it
I
comes
mean,
from,
that's
the glory
that's
support, yeah.
But the problem with that is that's not the kid's fault. That's more of the marketing of and the peer pressure of they want to be the best they want to be.
Which
so they,
ties into, why do people support various
So why do you
clubs?
support Liverpool?
So I supported Liverpool when I was a kid because my dad supported Liverpool. Or at least, to be fair, I thought he supported Liverpool. And I was sort of yay high. And so like you remember that the one match you went to with your dad, the one I remember specifically, I was in my uncle's house. And my uncle was an Arsenal fan. And it was Liverpool against Arsenal.
Steve, your uncle.
Steve is not my uncle, but I
Okay,
just
just
pointed
checking.
at him just because he's an Arsenal fan.
Right.
But so Liverpool and
I'm not that
Arsenal,
old, do I?
Liverpool and Arsenal were playing on the telly, and Arsenal won the game. But my dad and I were supporting Liverpool. So, and that was me buying into. Well, Dad obviously supports Liverpool. That would be my team. It didn't transpire until many years later that he's actually a United fan, and so obviously, I guess on the day, for whatever reason, was just cheering his brother's opposition team, if you like. But because I'd started supporting Liverpool,
So it's
that's
a
what I stuck
mistake.
with. No, because we're doing quite well at the minute.
At the minute, yeah.
Although, funny enough,
Because for you, I would say, as a Liverpool fan at that age, that would make you the glory supporter because that's when Liverpool were good.
it was. But here's the thing.
In the
So that
70s,
was
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was going to be probably mid '80s.
Yeah, which
no,
is-
no,
and
early
Liverpool-
'80s.
and
Yeah,
Liverpool
yeah.
was still good at
when
it.
we were in our super heyday. However, the kicker was that was like on a holiday back to the UK. So remember, I grew up in Hong Kong and Singapore later. So where we didn't have I'm sure at the time, if you really tried to source it, you could find live games back in those days. But we didn't have TV like we have now, where every game is available wherever you are. So it was like, I remember the FA Cup finals were on the telly. It was the big Road to Wembley show, which I tuned in to watch that because that
Yeah.
was great.
They were great.
Yeah,
Start
yeah.
at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was brilliant, a brilliant show. But I remember those big games, but didn't really get into following football quite as passionately until probably early 90s in Singapore, when it was starting to become a bit more prevalent, and then '94 went back to the UK for uni, and of course there you're smothered with football and sort of all sport really. So then you're more into it.
And women, Russell. Sorry,
women.
That came into my head, and I just wanted to get it out there.
So there's another twist in that a bit. Is that's what I used to like about all my mates from Southampton. They all, majority of them, 90% of them, supported their local team. You had the Man United fans and the odd Liverpool fans, and that they used to get the rise taken out of them. But I love guys that support, especially Southampton. You know, they get beat every week. They'd be hanging on by 1 point from getting relegated for about 8 seasons running. But the fact that these guys go week in, week out, and they suffer the pain and the humiliation. You know, some fans are so
like
blessed
Newcastle fans
to go to be a Man United or a Liverpool fan or a Chelsea fan or Arsenal fan these days that they're seeing trophies all the time.
Yeah.
The guys that support teams that never win anything.
Yeovil.
We say
That's
that.
a real fan. That's a real fan.
When I started following Chelsea, which came from everyone, I'm from Southend, so just outside London. So everyone was a West Ham. Most people that in my neck of the woods are a West Ham fan because that is the closest big
So
team.
who was the players at your time? Like Charlie Cook and...
No, I was
Osgood?
Kerry Dixon, David Speeding.
Oh, after them.
I was
Oh,
after
Speedy,
David
wow.
Speeding.
Yeah.
So I started supporting.
Didn't he get arrested for flashing, David Speedy? I'm
No, but there's a joke there.
Yeah.
So I supported them, and they weren't a team at that time for anyone to support. It wasn't that they weren't a good
Before
team.
the money came in.
They were
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
a
yeah.
long time before the money came
Yeah.
in. So they were never a big team. And yet, no one wanted to support Southend at the time because
Why would you?
why would you? You're a kid and you don't hear about Southend, but you hear about West Ham. It was West Ham, Tottenham,
Yeah.
Arsenal, Liverpool.
But
other teams.
that's where the guys, the local teams, follow their teams. It's in their blood.
Yeah.
And you've got to. I really do put my hand up to these people that go, and they know they're not going to win. Every time we used to go to London, because all my mates from Southampton said, right, I must know every single ground in London, right? Every single away ground. In fact, the first time we played Crystal Palace, with Southampton played Crystal Palace, I took them to the wrong way. I took them to the Crystal Palace. This is a Londoner, right? So you can imagine their surprise when we got to the Crystal Palace. There's no football stadium anywhere around
It's
here.
nice,
But-
but it's not that good.
It's not, yeah.
But they used to go knowing that they get beat every week. And if they won or draw, or only got beat 4-0, they'd had a good day. I mean, that's a real football
Do you think
fan.
they enjoy it more than the like? So Arsenal have
It
been.
is a bit bizarre, a bit perverted, if you like, when you know your team's going to get beat every week, but you still go. It's like yourself. Why would you put yourself through this? You know, why do you put yourself through this?
It's the underdog status, though, because you
can't
never
help
know.
it.
But that's
there's
sport,
always
you
that
never
chance
know.
that you do beat
Yeah, exactly.
the big boy, and boy, you can live on that for weeks.
But is it
can't
more
you?
than that? Are they going because it's their time with their mates? Is it their time out? So they're actually.
I think a
having
bit of
that-
everything. Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
because that's got
It's
to be there as well.
with
Well,
the
conceptually, I
lads
get
and
that's the
beer and-
community
Yeah.
feel of it, right?
Absolutely.
So,
And of course, it was a lot cheaper as well to go to football. Which,
Back in those days, yeah.
which you can understand why people become classic fans and watch it on the telly because you know you got everything at the comfort of your chair. You want to go to the toilet, you go to the toilet, you have a drink. You know, the cost of travelling there. I give up my season ticket at Arsenal because I moved to Southampton, and I thought I was going to
say because you moved to Phuket, which would be sensible.
yeah, 5 days a week driving up that M3. I don't want to do it on a Saturday as well.
So you was a season ticket holder as well.
For 4 seasons.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what seasons were they? Were they the Wenger seasons or before
no,
that?
these were the seasons when we used to have the joke, you know, I got caught going over the wall, but they pushed me back in to watch the second half.
Right.
Terry Neal was the manager. Liam Brady was my idol growing up, but Terry Neal was good for FA Cups. But yeah, I mean, we went for a long. Arsenal went for a long
This is
time as well.
pre-George
They
Graham.
they were before George Graham.
Yeah.
And Donnell for a while, and they who was the guy that bought Bergkamp? Bruce Rioch, awful manager. But actually, some of the best days I've ever had at Ivory that I can remember is when we were playing really bad. Because everyone would be in the stand, they used to stand in them days, and the banter with each other, you'd be slagging off a play, you know, and someone else would say, oh, that's a bit strong, or that's funny, you know, and some of the stuff that come about, and getting beat was actually, bizarre as it sounds, sometimes it was more fun.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
can
look back at
understand
that, and sometimes we used to have a right laugh because we were playing that bad, but you go and you get disappointed, but you don't get disappointed, if you know what I mean. It is bizarre, but of
also
course, when Wenger come and we started winning doubles and everything, it's like, oh my God, you know, this is just a great. And any fan wants to see it.
Oh, of course you do, yeah.
Any fan. So when you're really successful and playing good football, it's fantastic. But I've also seen the flip side of it, and I think it's great fun. Actually, I think it's great fun going to a football match, and you know.
I think going to any sport with it, as long as you've got buy-in, so you know what's kind of going on. But if it's certainly if it's something you follow, and certainly your own team, you're obviously sort of that invested. And there's a big difference between sitting at home. I'll sit at home and watch the football quite happily, but I obviously want my team to win.
If you tune into a TV series on Netflix and after the first episode, so you don't like it, you don't watch it no more, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
But football, you keep going back. What is it about? That's what I'm saying. What is it about football that keep pulling you back in?
For me, it's just sport in general. But there's a big difference with watching an event. I mean, I watched the Cricket World Cup final. I watched at home. Lots of dogs in the house.
Well, you should have been in
I
there
should
watching
have
it.
And I wanted to be in here.
What an atmosphere that was.
But that was the
When we
point I was
say
going
in
to
here,
get
we
to.
mean Peppers in Chern
We mean
Talay.
Pepper's Bar in Chern Talay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ding, ding. Oh, the bells. We'll come back
Don't
to
ring
that.
the bell.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'll tell you a story about bells in a minute.
Oh.
But, but I watched it at home, and even at home, I was getting all sort of heads up, like, oh, what's going on? But to be in here
And
with the crowd now, it must have just been.
That's what a sports bar provides, that nothing
Exactly.
else, is the atmosphere.
So that's it. So Peppers is a sports bar, and probably one of the only sports bars in
Well, this side of the island, yeah.
definitely this side of the
Yeah,
island.
yeah.
An actual out-and-out sports
See,
bar,
I
yeah.
don't like watching sport in bars. I don't like being. Maybe it's 'cause I don't like being around people. I don't know. That's probably what's what. But I don't like watching whole games. I'm a highlight guy. I would rather. I can't tell you the last full game of football.
Well, I've got
I
regular
watched.
customers that they won't watch football. Well, they won't watch their local team in here because they're too pent up. They don't want people speaking to them. They don't want any distractions.
Wow, that's a proper fan, isn't
but
it?
I've
Wow.
got like that. I mean, dare I say it, sometimes I'm a manager here and customers are talking to me and sometimes it's like, excuse me.
And I guess you can't take your days off
Yeah,
when
and
Arsenal aren't playing because
and
they're the busy
And
days.
especially when you're getting beat. Right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, shut up, mate.
And I mean, to be fair to Steve, so I mean, as you might have gathered, he's a bit of a loudmouth, bit of a talker, and does like to crack a joke.
Yeah, it kept your
And that's-
radio
which is-
station
which
going.
is- You got us fired, mate. He's the reason we're not on 91.5.
No, I want to hear that
Oh,
story.
all right, we'll
that's got-
make a note. We'll come back to it.
Because
So-
I've got a story about that, but it wasn't Steve that got me kicked off. It was someone else.
All right, excellent. So, but yeah, so we've always had, like, again, watching the football together, we've always had a bit of a laugh. So when he became manager, and yeah, I mean, if Arsenal, and everyone knows he's an Arsenal fan, so if Arsenal are...
Well, put it this way, a lot of people were surprised. Not
What, you became manager or you're an
no.
Arsenal fan?
But
Both.
I become manager.
Right.
It's not. They didn't like my personality. It was they used to see how ferocious I used to get at the TV.
Yeah.
You're making it sound like you were proper... I'm
Oh,
scared
no,
a little bit.
No, I was. I mean, it was. It was the.
There was a lot of effort and blinding
Yeah.
and-
You're just screaming at the TV.
Yeah.
You're
And
basically...
but to be
you're-
fair,
Living every kick.
Right, okay.
Getting
So
into
you're,
every
all right,
tackle.
so you're one of those guys.
But,
Gotcha,
but also,
gotcha.
we were watching it together,
Yeah.
and so you've got that again. That sort
And
of
you do get the fun. I mean, sometimes we've had it where in the early days, because everyone knew I was an Arsenal fan, so you'd get every other team supporting team, and I'd have Arsenal on that telly there, no matter who they're playing, and they'd all come down. I used to get honestly about 15, 20 regulars, and they would deliberately just come to watch a game to wind me up, or try to wind me up, and they'd be going, "Oh, great shot! Oh, that's a foul! Send him off, referee!" But that's what I love about sports.
But you
Great fun.
then banter back at them.
Well,
when
of
they're-
course, yeah.
And in fairness to Steve, the one thing I will give you is you're very, very good. I mean, you'll give it out, but you're equally as good at taking it as well. Which for me it's a defining characteristic, and I try and be the same as well. Because obviously we love it when our team win, but if we've played bad or beaten by the better side, you've got to say, no, hey.
For example,
off.
if there be like a Liverpool match in here, like the Champions League final, or and I know there's a lot of Liverpool fans in here, if they get beat, soon as they got beat, I'll be in the DJ booth and I'll put on the Crying Game by Boy George. This is where my sense of humour comes from.
I like that. I like that a lot.
But everybody knows it's coming now. There's not a shock no more, is it?
Quite.
Every time I try and think, what can I do at half time? Like, always look on the bright side of life.
So going back to the radio days.
Oh, yeah, so Steve got you kicked off.
Well, I was.
Are we going back to this is 91.5, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay.
and I was, to be fair, it was kind of coming to the end of my time there anyway, sort of ish, kind of. This kind of expedited things.
This was you on the rock show or the breakfast show time?
The breakfast show time.
Okay, your breakfast show time.
So, and on the Monday to Friday was the breakfast show. Saturday was also a breakfast show, but I made it a sports show.
Yeah.
Which is more for mine benefit, if you like. And then Rogue Numpty over here said, "Well, come in and be my studio guest." And we'll just talk.
I think I remember this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And to be fair, it was an absolute riot. We would mostly talk about football, but we talked about other sports and stuff.
And this got approval, did it?
It all got approval.
Right.
Did it?
No, it did at the beginning. So, but there was no sort of structure to it.
Oh, really? What do you mean structure?
So, but I mean, long story short, I mean, obviously, like we've spoken about the radio before, and it's all about advertising and money and what have you. And it was kind of coming to a head. I think my general time there anyway, plus the fact the way we were. I mean, our show. The cool thing about it was just a couple of friends having banter about sport, giving a bit of information and all of that, but having fun with it.
Yeah.
And we were getting people listening, like you had people back in the UK listening.
Well, the beauty is people listen in and they say, what is this guy talking about? But it's all opinions at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely,
Well,
yeah,
no,
completely.
but they were buying into it because they knew the characters and
you know,
enjoyed this.
The best sports shows are the ones that talk complete bollocks, if I can say that word.
The best
Yeah, you can.
podcasts.
Because people ring in, it's like Emlyn Hughes. You remember Emlyn Hughes used to do an article in the Daily Mirror? Like every Monday, the Emlyn Hughes column. And he'd write the absolute crap. But you find yourself buying it every Monday because you want to read this. And you disagree with every word he says. This geezer's a moron, but it sells, right?
Well, controversy
Being
sells.
being nice doesn't
No,
work.
being nice doesn't. I mean, people say nice guys win. They don't. I've been a nice guy all my life. And look at me.
We're not going down that
No,
road
okay,
again.
I'll stop that.
But back to the radio.
Yeah.
It got to the point where what we were doing and the fun that we were having and the structure that we had for the sports show kind of went against the grain of what the brand needed to be at that particular time. So the plug got pulled.
Because you had opinions, I'm assuming.
Possibly. And then from there it just became a regular show. And then again, I think that was very close to my time to leave and go to the States anyway. So it all kind of came with it.
But didn't all the, apart from...
But the joke is that it was his fault.
Apart from the Doris, God bless him, I mean, there's a couple of your mate before, his show went as well, didn't it?
Danny,
yeah. So it was all going, weren't they? And then, when you think of it, Jay, at the time there was a lot of our circle of friends were listening in. I would tell all my mates in England, you've got to get up at 6 a.m. today. Are you really on the radio live? Yes. Can you give me a plug? Yes. I said, how can I get this in? But we did have a laugh.
But you know what? I do miss those times because you're right. I would get messages from my Sunday show of people just who were listening and they're texting you in, and it was good times because people were engaged in what we were doing, and you're right. We all had kind of different groups of people that were texting in. It was.
Well, like I said before, it was really fun.
Does that still happen? I mean, I don't.
People texting the radio. People texting me to say you're live on the air. No, it doesn't happen a lot.
I've had it once on my Tiger when I used to be on the Tiger last year. Someone sent me a message saying, "Oh, can you give me a shout out?" And I'm like, I was in England at the time, saying, "Probably not. No, I'm not there."
Well, everyone likes them. Everyone. I'll be honest with you. When I met Russell in Phuket town, I got introduced by a mate Neil, and he said, "Got told you like sport, yeah." And out of the blue, he said to me, "Do you want to be on a radio show to talk?" And I thought he was talking rubbish, to be honest, because I've never met the guy. I said, "Yeah, sure." And about 4 weeks later, he contacted me and said, "You still interested?" Okay. So went up the radio show, and of course, this is a dream for me. I mean, it's a dream. It's
It was a proper studio.
Yeah,
it was a really nice studio. That one.
Yeah. So I thought, I'm going to be on the radio, and what do I say? So I met him up.
Don't fucking
drove
swear.
up the top of that bloody big hill and met him there, and literally Russell pods on, sound check. You could hear all the jingles and the news in the background, and he says, "Right, we go off this. Hang on, whoa, what are we going to talk about? Don't swear, don't mention this, that. Okay, that's fine." And I only done it as a one-off. Well, that's what I thought it was. And I said to him at the end of it, "Any chance I can get this on, a disc?" And he says, "Yeah, come back next week."
On a tape.
What do you call them? The
thumb drive.
it's not visual, is
For
it?
those watching in black and white.
And of course, next week I went back and he says, "Right, sit down." And then it sort of become every Saturday.
Yeah.
It got to such a stage I was going to ask him for some money in the end. He had the sack. So there went that one. But they were good. They were funny days, weren't they? Yeah. I mean, we talk about all sorts, but that's where the bell come from.
So what was the bell thing?
Okay,
no,
have you
the
ever
bell
been
came
in,
from Peppers.
and don't deny it, Susie Wong's? So you go in Susie
Yeah,
Wong's,
I've
so you
been
got
to
the
Susie
little bells there. So ding. You remember the little round bells, the little silver bells?
No.
like
Like
a
restaurants
concierge
have them, where
bell.
you ding.
No, I know what. No, you don't have to tell me what a bell is. I know what the bell is.
It
What
is
I
a
don't-
bell.
At the end of that.
But what I don't know is what's the bell on the table for.
Well, what actually happened?
Susie Wong's is the one with the rubber things. You
That's
hit
the place,
lovely
yeah.
young people
Yeah.
that
We-
are trying to earn money from doing
We get
certain
naughty,
things.
you get spanked, yeah.
Yeah.
So we went in there, we got a bell from there, and we took it in the studio. And so, of course, every time
What do you
we
mean
do
you
it...
stole a bell from Susie
well, I didn't
Wong's?
say that.
Allegedly.
You've missed a small part of that. Pepper's Bar, back in the days when we were frequenting this particular
Oh, we had
establishment.
bells in there, of course we did, yeah.
Pepper's Bar
I had the little bells on the table.
had the bells on the table. So if you wanted to
think I
drink, you go
remember that.
ding ding,
Yeah.
and the staff would come along and get you a drink. And then we came along, and I'm going to rope Emily into this as well because she's just as bad.
So
if
you
not
stole one
worse.
of our bells.
So and we've still got it. in the lounge at home. And so, but not only did we steal them, but also it was constant. Anytime someone cracked a joke, which as you can imagine was fairly frequent. Oh, ha, 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 ding, ding. Staff member comes along, can I get you a drink? No, we're fine, thank you.
Rather than
5
boom,
seconds,
it would be ding ding.
5 seconds later,
And
someone
this went
cracks a
on
joke, ding, ding. Staff member comes
This went on
along.
the radio show. And what started with a bell then went to, you were thinking of putting funny sound effects in. So every time we done a funny, you know, like Thai TV. Ding dong, wah, 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 wah. So we started putting all this sort of stuff in, which I used to try and put on my quiz every Wednesday night. You know, I used to download sound effects on my phone, so when the connection ran, they got it wrong. It went wah, wah, wah.
You should come to we should like the quiz.
All adds to the fun, yeah.
You do a quiz here?
At Pepper's Bar, near Laguna and Chern Talay.
Right behind you every Wednesday night.
Every
Starts at
Wednesday
8 p.m.
night, do a
sir.
quiz.
Lady
Quiz
question.
night every Wednesday. Fun starts at 8. So that if you
Well,
come here
that's what
before
comes-
8, it's not fun.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So fun only starts.
The fun only starts at 8 o'clock.
It's free entry and there's prizes to be won.
Every
apparently.
week.
Fish and chips are only one. I'm just looking at the specials board. Fish and chips only 180.
Yeah,
It's pretty good, isn't
That's
it?
a Friday special.
That's a Friday special.
Yeah,
Because it's fish and chips is Friday.
exactly.
They fry them on
See,
Friday.
we don't just make it up, you know.
Brilliant. We've reached our pinnacle of time.
Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Well, no, I think Steve's been amazing, actually. I'd like to chat
It's
more,
getting him
Steve.
to shut up. That's the real trick. Once you get him going,
We'll have to have a recap.
A
We'll
recap.
have to have a specific sports show. I just think you also we're just going to promote Peppers. It is Peppers, isn't it?
it is.
Oh, we're just going to promote Peppers. But you got the Rugby World Cup on as well.
Yeah,
so people
every-
can come here and
every-
watch the
every
old
game.
egg chasing.
Every game of the
I
rugby.
bet people will love
all
to
sport,
watch.
all the football. And the rugby doesn't coincide with other sports, luckily. So most of the rugby's 12 to 5 p.m.
Yeah, that's true.
So they
Oh, is it
show
afternoon shots, is it?
all
Yeah, 'cause it's
afternoon
in
this
Japan,
year.
so it's
in Japan.
two
So
or three
it's
hours
all the
ahead.
Premier League football, Formula One, any sport that's on. They've got NRL final this Sunday.
And roast dinners.
And roast dinners on a Sunday, yeah.
There you go.
Come
And
in
the
more
best
often, Joe.
breakfast on the island.
Just see, now you're making me feel guilty. Come on. Steve, don't worry. It's not Peppers that I don't go to. It's everywhere I don't go to.
To
Don't
be
worry.
fair. He's a hermit.
No good hiding behind that microphone, mate. Get out in the real world.
Okay, I'm going to hide behind my mic. Steve, thank you very much.
Oh, you're
Thanks,
welcome.
buddy.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Cheers, Russ.
Russell, thank you very much.
No worries. See you soon.
Peace.